All right, everyone, this is Marco Palmera, founder of Ulysses in Dubai. And in this video, I want to talk about the steps of our off-market deal flow service. Substantially, I want to share what is it that we do when we work with other companies that want us to identify, qualify, and present to them off-market deal flow and investment opportunities in UAE and Middle East. So I'm going to go through the steps, keep them very general. Starting out with the qualification process. Of course, before we actually dive in and start identifying opportunity on the company behalf, we need to understand what your requirements are and what are the types of assets that you're looking for. UAE and Middle East are a very dynamic market and diverse market for that matter. As a consequence, narrowing down your selection criteria will make a huge difference in the results that you're going to get, because of course I'm going to be able to pinpoint the best possible opportunity available outside of the market so that you can access exactly what you need in terms of acquisition or investment opportunity. And I'm talking about many different variables that we need to consider. You're looking for profitable or unprofitable companies, size of the company, turnaround, employee count, is it independent of the owner or the owner is still involved in the business, many other elements that I can talk about. But the point is, we need to start with an initial assessment, and that is the first step that is going to make our efforts in sourcing off market opportunities very successful. Now, once we got that, then it's time for us to source, qualify, and present to you these opportunities. That's where we actually go ahead and do the work, and we leverage all that we have learned in sourcing transactions in the Middle East to provide you with the best possible candidates. And of course, I need to remember and remind you that all the opportunities that we source are off market, and so there's no intermediary in between. The idea for us is to provide companies with deals that are less competitive but very, very attractive, so that they can have a preferential choice over these companies and assets and make very good decisions, very solid investment decisions. So provided you're aware of that, the companies that we're going to source are going to be off market. So most of the opportunities that you will look at will be either exclusive to you, or they might not even be listed for sale. Because the owners want to keep the sale confidential. And that is a huge advantage of having a off-market team like ourselves work with you, because there's no point in having a lot of deal flow if that deal flow is crap. The point is, it's better to have 3, 4, 5 deals that are actually all hot and super interesting, and they're with low competition, so that you can focus on those and reduce the time and you need to consume in qualifying the target, and you can spend all the effort on getting one deal done, which is ultimately what makes you the money and as a company, as an acquirer. And so the point here is, the second step is actually crucial, because we take all the data that we collected from you and we go ahead and execute it in the market to present you with these opportunities. And keep in mind that this step is still a process that you can do and that you can go through with a high level of confidentiality, because having a team like us that works on your off-market deal flow enables you to stay below the radar, because we do the work on your behalf. Your name is never going to be disclosed. So as a company, you don't need to disclose your goals and ambitions in other geographies like the UAE and Middle East, for example, but you can still run your own due diligence, and when you're ready, go ahead and execute on a transaction. And so that gives you tremendous advantages with your own competitors, because they're not going to be able to tell that you're actually targeting UAE and Middle East as a market, and only when you're executing the deal they will get to know that. But by that time you will be far ahead in your execution path. So this second step has exactly that goal. Keep your ideas and your process confidential while we do the execution for you, and we qualify the opportunity that is then presented to you. And of course, that is done periodically. So ideally on a bi-weekly basis. We report to you the available transactions, and then all these transactions become part of our interaction and exchange. There are going to be some initial due diligence that we will conduct on your behalf so that you can get access to the data that you need to make the initial decision, the initial assessment for that matter. That has the goal of getting to point number 3, which is the moment where you decide to commit to the deal. And so the second step is actually the heavy one and our own responsibility. So basically we take all this heavy burden off your shoulders. You can focus on what you do best while we source targets for you. And as you receive them and you get all the data that you needed from the target, then you can decide, okay, this is a transaction I'm interested in. I want to take control of this deal and try to get it done or get it done. Let's remove the try. Once you decided that this is something that you wish to pursue, then you're in total control of the deal, because we're not intermediaries, we're not brokers. We just source the transaction for you. We act as your lead generation team, so to speak. And we do all the heavy lifting that is leading you to the selection process. Once you selected the target, the opportunity is up for you to close. And as a consequence, you have full control over the transaction. You don't have to respond to intermediaries, and you don't have intermediaries messing up your own deal. You can take control of it and execute it on your own. You'll be in direct communication with the seller, and that's what really makes a huge difference, because then you totally own the process. And again, you can do of this transaction whatever you like. So this is a very simplified version of what we do with our off-market deal flow service. But the point is, we focus on all the steps that are necessary for you to get to a point where you can pick transactions and then execute on them. And that's really what makes a huge difference for a lot of companies, small and big companies, because many times some of the problems these businesses are struggling with is that exploring a new market takes a lot of time and resources, and sometimes they are either not willing to commit these resources or they don't have them to commit. As a consequence, working with an outside team like herself can be the best possible solution for companies like that, because you just get the outcome without putting in the effort, because we do the effort for you. And we also save you a lot of time in building those relationships, because we've built them over the years. And so those are some of the steps that we go through in our off-market deal flow service. Of course, if you wish to learn more about that, you can check the link below. We take on a few engagements per quarter simply because we want to make sure every single client has a high level of output and delivery coming from us. And so we don't really take a lot of them, but provided we have available slot, if you do have an interest in that, be happy to take a look at your idea and see if we can make it come a reality. As I said, 3 key steps. First, we understand the metrics, then we go ahead and execute so that we can present to you. Once we've done that, you select and you go ahead and take control of the deal. That's basically how our off-market deal flow strategy works. It has been very effective for us first and for other businesses afterwards. And of course, it is an ongoing process that you can keep, open as you progress. You might just want to stop at the first deal, or you might want to keep getting opportunities as they come in and keep executing transactions that we bring to your table. Both solutions are fine and are up for you to decide. So if that's something that is of interest to you, check the links in the description. I'll see you in the next one.